Okay, are we here? I'm hoping I wasn't streaming before. It said I had to press something to start streaming, so I hope that was really true, and not that you guys had to just sit there and wait till I got set up and got paint out and everything. Okay, so I am ready to go, and this is a painting that and that wants me to check something. Hold on. It apparently doesn't like my screen resolution. You know, I'm just going to go ahead with this, and you guys tell me if something doesn't seem right. Let's just go with it that way. All right, so this is a painting I have had on hold for a bit. I had these commissions come in right before, shall we just say, everything happened. And it's taken me quite a while to come anywhere close to have my head together. And I am not there yet, but at some point you have to just kind of push on, right? So we're going to do that. Now, in theory, I have my chat window up. And we'll see. I'm not that familiar with this, but my Twitch streams, you know, I've been doing those a long time, and they kind of weren't going much anywhere. Although I will say new people did pop in from time to time. But I thought I'd try YouTube and see what the response is like over here. Last time I had sound difficulties, so if you're there and I have that feedback loop thing, please let me know. I do not have any other browser windows open, so I'm hoping that's what caused it before and that you're not experiencing it this time. And all I'm doing on this guy right now is I'm brightening this moon just a little bit over what it was. Sometimes the paint settles and the moon isn't as bright as what I want it to be. I'm just debating. I think I might add just a little bit of touch of yellow and just brighten it right around there. Of course, it's going to look a little bit more like a sun then, but that's okay. It's okay for what I have planned for this. That won't hurt a thing. That's not quite the right tone of yellow. Hold on. Got this. We'll see. I got this new paint. They quit putting cad in anything. So this is the cadmium-free yellow, and I hope it gives me the same results. I hope they really were able to work that out to where it's just as nice as cad yellow used to be. Because previously I'd used the hues in that, and they fell a little flat. So I'm hoping this is better. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. And let me grab a paper towel. Anybody else treating their paper towels like gold here? That's me lately. I want to get some more, maybe some shop towels or something, I don't know. So I don't have to use up all my paper towels on my painting. The stores just are not getting them back in. I gather it's not really a supply chain issue so much as I guess there's a difference between like business paper products and home paper products. And with everyone home, everyone's going through the home paper products. And so they can't keep them stocked in there fast enough. Although for some things I could see it making a difference, but for paper towels, I'm thinking I wouldn't mind industrial paper towels and, you know, those little folded ones things. I could live with that if that's all I can get. So I'm just trying, you know, I don't feel this yellow glows the way the cad yellow glows. But I suppose if it's better for everybody that it not be cad yellow, we will learn to live with it. All right, that's a little bit more glowing. I like to get that all squared away before I put anything else on because it can be difficult if you decide you want to fan out after. It can be a little bit challenging if you put a bunch of stuff in there. just softening this line a little bit between it. There we go. Sort of a tie-dye sort of background I have going on here. Okay, well, I think the next thing we're going to do, well, first of all, I should have got a tree painting up here so I had some idea what I was doing. Not that that will help in particular for me to know what I was doing, but let's assume it will. My last one I did, this is just not really a set of two, but somebody that commissioned two paintings at the same time. And one is was a kitty in a jacaranda tree, and this one's going to be more cherry blossoms, I think. Just taking a quick look at things. All right, I think for this tree, I don't think I'm going to use a lot of brown for the tree. I think I'm going to stick mostly with sort of a black for the tree. I'm just trying to get up my reference photos here. I managed to cover most of them up there. Okay, there we go. That's the other one I want. Okay. So for that, I think I just want to get some Payne's Gray, and I'm just going to do the branch that the cats are going to sit on. Sometimes I do the cats first, or I do the branch and the branches and that after, just because I don't have to worry about if I build the cat up too high or too low to be sitting on the branch. But in this case, I think I'm going to go ahead with the branch. And I'm going to have one cat lying down here. And the other cat, I think I'm going to put next to him. I haven't decided if I'm going to put him next to him or off to this side yet, but at least one of them is going to be lying down here. So we'll get that branch done first. Let's see. I'm going to say right about here. And I'm going to decrease down kind of sharply in case I do want that other one sitting there. This paint really glides along on this canvas. It must be the kind of thicker layer. I had a bunch of orange pouring paint left over from another thing, so I decided to use that as the background for this painting. It gave it a lovely sort of tie-dye look that I really like. Oh, it is nice though, because the pour paint is a little thicker and it's made for a really smooth canvas. So that part's good. Okay. All right, now for Kitty. I think I'll get a slightly smaller brush here. And this first kitty is a black kitty, but an older kitty. So she has a lot of white in her fur. She's a little old lady like me. I have a lot of white in my fur too at the moment, you know. Fortunately, I didn't dye my hair anyway. So the fact that you can't get out or anything doesn't really affect me much. I would have looked the same anyway. Would have probably, if I'd known we couldn't get out for a while though, I definitely would have had my hair cut shorter the last time I had it cut, but who knew, you know. So let's see here. I'm going to try and just do her face in, I think, first. I want to make sure I do her big enough, but not overwhelmingly huge here. So maybe like here. And I hope to get another one of our Pacific Northwest landscapes done soon. I have some ideas for that, and even some similar ideas for a Japanese garden I hope to do soon. But I thought for today I should probably work on this commission a bit. Let's see, maybe do a little rough sort of thing around here. paw. Let's see, maybe the paw come right about here, I think. Okay. Then from there, just sort of block in where her body will be. We'll get some fur brush sort of thing out here. Sort of body here. I think based on the head size, I think the body should be a little bit longer. So let's do that. Not sure quite. The tail I may put coming up there over the body. I think that might be good enough, especially for such a small kitty. I think that's probably big enough. Let me switch to a slightly smaller brush here. Now, I'm not seeing anything in my chat window, so if you're there and chatting, it means I've done something wrong, and I am not ignoring anybody. But last time I set up the window wrong, and I got this awful feedback. So I'm trying to not do that this time. And it does say that's my chat window, so hopefully it really is, and just nobody's commenting at the moment, which is fine. So ears, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, that's that white I just had out, isn't it? Okay. Let's see if I can do a little white highlighting here. The brown there would probably be her nose. Maybe do a little bit where her chin is. A bit of white highlighting here. That way I can keep track of where everything is. And maybe just a little bit where her eyes would be. Just kind of extend this nose up here, and then we have some idea. And the other eye maybe here. It's going to have her eyes closed, I think. We'll just kind of bring this little fur right over here to one side there. Whoop. Should probably get a little rougher, more, be the word, wildlife fur sort of brush here, and just a detail brush. Really getting, you know, the other problem is that I only have the heavy body white out. I'm just not getting the lines I want to get. Let's see what we have here. And some sort of brush here for wildlife fur. Is that it? I don't think so. Oh no, that's something else. Something else entirely. Let's see, wildlife brush. It's in here somewhere, I'm sure. I have all these nice handmade vases I use to hold my paintbrushes, which usually I find things pretty quickly, but boy, not today. You know, this one might work. It's not the one I was looking for. Let's see if that works. Let's see. See if that'll give me a little bit more of a fur. Oh yeah, yeah, that's getting there. A little bit more of a fur idea. I said she's a black kitty, but has sort of white bits in her fur. And being sort of a grande dame at this point. I think she's 20, something like that. Off to the side even. Okay, now let's kind of stroke this fur. Still feeling like this is a little thick. Might thin it with just a touch of water there. And come back in with the black, I think, as well. So I think I'm going to put extra white in here, and then I can layer on some of the darker color over it for more of this, more of the fur look coming in there. I'm gonna do this way, then I'm gonna come in and fix it because I really had a little bit of issues here. Let's do that. I'm gonna come in and take off what I don't like that I just put on there. I'm still feeling like maybe her body's a little small. Let me think on that for a bit. Even if I just yeah, I'm thinking I want to extend her body maybe as far around as here to get it more accurate, or go up higher with it. Like this is more of a haunch up here, up a little higher maybe. Got a big glob of paint on there. Yeah. Let's see. Just gonna wind it around a little bit more, a little bit bigger kitty. I'm going to do this incrementally because, you know, as you can imagine, it's a lot easier to make kitty bigger than make kitty smaller if you go too far the other way. Yeah, I think that's a little better. And this will be like a haunch that sits up there. And then I still want to do, I think I want to do the tail more like there. You know, the tail sort of wrapping around the body a bit. So I think what I want to do anyway. What is that? That's something else entirely. I'm going to take another brief go around looking for that brush I wanted. I wonder if I put it back in the wrong spot. Oh, that'd be something I'd do. Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted. A little bit more thin paint. It's like she might have just a touch of, maybe a touch of brown running through there too. Let's try this. I just got paint on myself. I just realized this was still wet. Hang on. Apparently I had a big old glob right there in that tree. And I ran my wrist right over it. Good thing I got on shorter sleeves today. I can't tell you guys how many long sleeve shirts I have with paint right around there. Okay. I could feel it though. Feel it in there. Let's grab some paint here. I'm gonna do this first, then I'm gonna come back and maybe, oh, I still got paint on myself. You know, I emphasize these aren't tutorials, but in case, you know, you were thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe it's a tutorial. Now you know for sure it is not. That would not be a step in your painting. Get paint all over yourself. It's a step in my painting, but it wouldn't be a step in a normal person. Okay, let's grab us some more paint here. I know this looks a little bit just like globs of gook at the moment, but it's a layering process, so it's going to do that. Let's see if that's thin enough to do what I want it to do. I need to let that dry for a minute. Come back and work on it later. What I'm trying not to do is I want very distinct black and white in the fur. I do not want to end up with a gray kitty. I have a gray kitty at home, and that's as it should be. But for this canvas, I don't want a gray kitty. I want a black kitty that's got some white little streaks in her. Noise out there. My own kitties are out in their outdoor backyard gazebo where I can keep an eye on them, but they get some fresh air. And then I open all the windows for my little one that doesn't want to go out. He's little in terms of size. He's not little in terms of age. He's a senior fellow. But he's a little more skittish than the other ones, so he stays in when they go out. What I want to do is kind of get the impression of under the tail here, because I wanted this tail to come up here. Well, first of all, I want this, and I want that. Create some shadow space where the tail and the haunch comes up there. Make that leg a little darker too. A white spot on there that should not be. Actually, that's coming along there pretty well. I want to emphasize where her tail is a bit. I think I might just use just a liner brush here to do that. And just sort of line in where I want that tail to be. Love the paint just a little bit there. That's okay. All right. Now the only thing left, what's left at the moment. Well, for one thing, I feel like I can't really see where the eye is that well. Not that you would necessarily with a closed eye with a kitty. Black kitty with a closed eye, you're probably not going to see too much actually. But her hand, I want to kind of get some of this modeling gray fur in there. Well, not gray fur, but black and white on the fur. Let's see what we got here. Turned gray right away. We don't want gray. I thought that was dry enough that that white would lay. If the black's dry enough, then the white's going to lay on top of it. But if the black is still wet, it's going to mix in and make gray, which is not what we're going for here. So we're going to just get a little bit more this modeling here. Not there. A little bit more around the face. The ears. We want the ear come down here. We want up there where the moonlight's hitting. So if we can grab some white fur up there too. Shoot, a little bit of a glob came out there, but that's okay. We'll fix that later. Okay. See if we can add just a few of these little white hairs in here. Okay. Putting that around again. It's so quiet outside. Yesterday, I went out to sit outside and there was this truck. And it was one of those work trucks that beeps when it goes backward, you know, beep, beep, beep. So made it a little hard to relax out there. But they must have finished doing what they were doing yesterday, I guess, because I don't hear it today. like there should be more of a tone to her fur. Maybe just a little bit of a light brown. I'm thinking mixed in there. Let's try that. A little bit of tone here and there. Don't want it to just look black and white. That's not right either. Sometimes these black cats get a little bit of a red tone in them. This looks pretty much black and white though, I have to say. But when you get to the body of the fur, there seems to be a little, just a slightly reddish tone. Of course, the cat is the important part of the piece, really. I mean, that's the heart of it. So it's worth spending some time. I'll put some of that brown in there, just soften that up just a little bit. And actually, that works pretty well after all. I was hesitant to do it, but I think it was a good choice. Kind of soften this black up a little bit more tone. Still want to get in here with more of this black though. Still feel like there's quite enough of the really dark tone in here. I mean, there obviously is, there's some there, but it's just not quite as much as I feel it needs. I'm sorry for muttering. I tend to talk muttering to myself, which I do in all circumstances, not just painting. Let's try a little bit of this, see if that gets some of that. Oh yeah, that's getting some of that actual black back in there. That's what I want to see. Don't want it so, got so many white highlights in there that it doesn't look black anymore. I'd say we can leave that kitty for now. Now our next challenge can be where to look for the next kitty. I thought about this one. You're probably thinking I should have planned more as I went, but sometimes I just can't until I start seeing it. Sometimes I have more of a plan, and other times I need to kind of see what I'm doing before I can plan the rest of it. And this is more one of those cases, but I'm still not too sure. That looks a little bit like their hind quarters is up in the air there, which, you know, is possible. Cats sit all sorts of funky ways. I was trying to decide. So my choice would be I could put the second cat sitting here. I could put him sitting here. I think I might put him sitting more here. I'd have to have a second branch coming over, but no reason why there couldn't be one. Or even coming up on the same branch, but have one branch out. Branch out and come up like that. I think the important next step will be to go ahead and get that other kitty in there. Oh, if I do him facing away, then I could do him more like he was here, almost looking up at her. That's not a bad concept either. This may be too much for me to think on the fly. I might have to do something else for a bit. I think I'm going to stop the stream here. For one thing, I can make sure I don't have that feedback problem, and I want to be a little bit more prepared so you guys don't have to sit painfully with me through my thought processes. And this is probably a good enough test to see if the stream worked at all. So thanks for joining, and hopefully this worked out fine and we can do this again real soon.